All right. This is our group, Targeted Citizens Worldwide. My name's David Morrow, also known as Hard Target on YouTube and other platforms. I'm a citizens journalist and citizens reporter for the Brady's List. And today we're going to go hard and heavy with the media, and the investigative journalist is trying to cover all this stuff and see if they're covering what they're supposed to be covering instead of us doing all this, because that's their job. That's what they're getting paid to do. That's part of the Constitution, and it states in there we have free speech and press. And right now the press has got a big foot over their neck. Not just that, with the administrations that's been involved. You heard it not too long ago, about a month or two ago. The president got on there and declared that anybody that's a MAGA supporter or anybody that's a conservative, we're going after you. And they're going to shut us down, free speech, and that makes our targeting even harder. And we're to the point right now, this is getting old. Everybody's tired of it. We want our lives back. And we're going to do whatever it takes. This group is for that. We're going to do whatever we can to expose this and get it out there. I don't care if I have to make a zillion phone calls till I'm 80, and this is going to happen. And we're going to get it so much, they're going to get it so much that it's going to be a repetitive thing, and they're going to get sick of hearing it, and somebody's going to end up it's going to listen, and they're going to end up having to report it because there's so many of us that's going through this. I've seen so many petitions and everything else where there's nothing but signatures on there from change.org, all these petitions against targeting. You got something you wanted to add? Who else we got in here?
Hi, this is Anna.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, good.
Pleasure to have you on board. We're going to make some noise. We're going to try to make some noise today.
Look like this. I didn't mean to look like this.
That's fine. I'm in my car because my kids are too loud. They're home from school today, and I got a basement where I set this up usually, and I can't do it. I'm out in my vehicle. It's like every time I try to do something, it gets shot down. But
okay. Well, I didn't want to miss it, so I figured that by the time I put on the makeup and got ready, well, it wouldn't work. Then you'd be gone.
You're good, Anna. I appreciate your support and everything you're doing for targeted justice. I've tried to reach out to some of them people as well to let them know what we're doing, because this definitely has to get taken care of. And I've tried everything. The loopholes that we have now that they have, that I've caught some of this stuff when they were doing me. I got a hold of this guy from the Brady's List, and he's the president. His name's Johan. He's up in Michigan. And he made me a citizens reporter for him because he's a targeted individual as well. And he wants me to head the operation in Ohio and go nationwide to anybody that's got reports. Because with the reports, when you have Brady's List report, you can look it up. It's Brady versus Gigolo, and it was 1963. Or Brady versus Maryland, excuse me. And they were going after rights violations done by offices. That would be the FBI, prosecutor's office, judges' chambers, local police departments, and we all know that's who's involved and who's pulling the strings at the bottomest levels on this. And then they got their little minions that they use against us, and we're not concerned with them because they'll find their day someday in federal court. We're after the puppet masters, the people that are pulling the strings, the people that are controlling the fundings. We're going after that, and to get to them, there's easy routes to do it, including this: making 1 million phone calls to all these agencies, these journalists, these newspapers, everybody, flood them, and eventually somebody's going to hear it and they ain't going to be able to contain it. It's going to be like an overflowing bucket with a full blast water hose. You're not going to be able to plug that up no matter what you do. So without further ado, I want to get this phone call going. I'm going to call the Miami Herald, and I know we've had a few attempts from other people to do this, but we're going to do it again. So I'm going to grab my phone here, and it's Miss Julie Brown.
Wasn't it you that posted the one on the Dallas call at 1 p.m. today?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I included 4.
I was planning on doing that.
Excuse me?
I was planning on doing that.
Well, go ahead. You can still call. Call and blow them up, and then we'll all take turns doing it, and then we'll move on from there. We'll find another list of journalists to do. I got a whole 100 top 10 list, I guess you could say, and I know how to get a hold of all of them. I did a lot of research on this as fast as I could because I want this out. I got some free time for the next week. I had to change jobs, of course. I made a video about this, how being a target individual, you don't keep a job very long. I've got a pretty good extensive skill set background in like millwright, welding, maintenance and stuff like that, so I lost my job because I was targeted. It didn't last very long. I was there maybe 8 months, and then I have to get another. I already got another job. So, with that being said, I got a swing shift next week, and that's like 12-hour shifts 4 days a week. So they're going to work me off until they can't use me anymore, and then I'll be on to something else. But to the meantime, and my spare time.
Can I ask you something? Because like now that I left, I'm looking for a job now. Although I have to dedicate like 40 hours per day to targeted justice, but I need a job, and I believe that these people are not going to let me get a job because they don't want me to. So how? Because one of the things they do about us is that they say that we're in the terror watch list, and I'm aggressively trying to really not that aggressively. I put on my resume and stuff. I'm not being a pain in the butt calling people and stuff. But how do you go about getting a job since you know that they're going to be calling and saying she's in the terror watch list? The same with journalists. My experience has been that they're afraid to talk to. They're afraid to talk to me. I don't know why. I wonder why.
Because they're afraid that their lives are going to be upheaved somehow because they're cowards, and the ones that won't talk are cowards, and then that's why we got to put them on blast, because that's your job. You're exposing corruption and you're exposing everything that you can do, but you'll touch Jeffrey Epstein's story, but you won't touch this. Now come on. Now
yeah, but that's the thing, that the Jeffrey Epstein story, it didn't get published until like many years had gone, which is I think we are in a perfect point in history, and that's why I'm working on FOIAs and stuff, because of the Havana syndrome victims that have been recognized as such. Then I think that this is our moment to say, wait, it wasn't just then. It's us too. It's us too, and that's, we have to just take advantage of this moment for that, to be able to do that. Because it's 5 million people minimum in the world that are being tortured every day.
And that's something that they just can't keep a lid on. I mean, there's too many people, and now there's more and more every day since everything's changing. The world's changing even for the worse, and they're really going after free thinking and anybody's got any influence over anybody else, because everything that we say or do gets analyzed and it gets put in this little category here and a category there, and then they put it all together and they're like, oh, he's a terrorist. Well, he's evil. He's this or she's that. And we can't have that because we got an agenda to take care of. That's why they want everybody distracted with their little TikTok and their electronics to keep everybody's mind off the real picture. Well, once you start dabbling into our lives and creating problems for all of us, that becomes part of our picture, because we want our lives back, because we didn't sign up for none of this stuff. And I damn sure didn't sign up to be a lab rat for no reason and then have my life completely ripped apart and have people trying to murder me for the past 5 years. I want some payback off that, because I want justice for everybody else, not just including myself, but all these people that are having to go through this and all these people's lives are being lost. That's not right, and that's against my God-given rights as a citizen, also as a citizen of this planet. It's inhumane. So, another note, what you were saying about the job, what I've learned in all this is don't tell them about yourself. Try to keep that out of the makings at first, and then once you get your job, present yourself to others as, hey, this is what I'm going through. Subtly give it to them. Don't give it to them full blast Area 51 style, because then that'll give them a reason to report you, or that'll give them the reason to label you as crazy, schizophrenic, or what have you. And that way, that'll definitely keep you from getting employment.
No, I'm aware of that, but the situation is this, that I'm not going to diminish my public profile out there, because I'm doing activism, and so if I put my profile as private in my social media, then that curtails my efforts of what I'm really passionately doing, which is fighting this. So prospective employers look at all your social media. So that's exactly what they want, and so I'm like, okay, I know I should maybe go private, but if I do, then it's gonna, or maybe while I get a job, but still, I hear you. I totally hear you, but Do you know my quagmire? I don't want to come across as a hypocrite, like I'm hiding who I am, because then they're going to say very, very painful, because people very easily attack you that way. And I'm, even though I've been targeted for 23 years, I've only been a year aware that I am targeted.
Wow.
Because they really, I was happy going up here. I'm like, well, this happened for a reason, and even if it's a bad thing, something good will come out of it. And that's how I led my life. And if I had been a little bit more, because we didn't in Puerto Rico, I read a lot and I study a lot, and in Puerto Rico, the targeting of individuals has been blocked off. Like, people don't know that this exists. Only what I get, even people kill themselves and they don't know that it exists. Okay, so I didn't know this, because if I had known, I would have said, "Oh my God, this is what's going on with me." But it didn't cross my mind that so much evil could be harnessed within a person, let alone hundreds of thousands, millions of people doing it. So that's my thing. I'm going to continue applying for jobs, but I'm not going to make any of my profiles private. Well, my profile is private, but like any of my posts and stuff that are public, because I don't want people to think, I'm not a hypocrite. I'm here, even if
I understand, because I had to do that at first to get this other job that I had that I just got let go from. I had to pass a Homeland Security background check, which that was impossible, because they told me it took a month and a half to clear me, and the other guy that it took him 2 days. So that tells me a lot as well.
Until 2015, and this is I swear, until 2015, I was the notary, the attorney. In Puerto Rico, you have to be an attorney to be a notary.
Right.
The United States Marshal Service in Puerto Rico, I was the sole notary since 2007. Okay, and so my targeters, they started it's private, but then they took it to the federal realm, and that's when.
Well, what kills me, they all know who we are. They all know what we're about, what we do, and yet they still let us have a little bit of leeway on some things, and then they'll just rip the carpet out from underneath you, like the Homeland Security thing. That was for me working service at an airport, at Canton Airport, because I work on conveyors and stuff as well. So I was like, there's no way I'm going to pass this, and I ended up passing it. Well, I'm like, okay, my job's not going to last that long, which it didn't. It lasted like 8 months, and they worked me to death. So, with that being said, that's how that went. But now, I don't know how this other job. I know it's going to go sour in a couple months anyway, so I'm just going to deal with it. I just have to deal with it. You guys want to let me give it a couple cracks on this and see if we can do something? And then we're all in here, because I'll put it on speaker, and they can definitely, if they got something to say, we can definitely pipe up and say, hey, you know a lot more legal aspect of things than I do. And
hello?
Yes.
Hey, what's up?
Are you okay with that?
Yeah, me? What do you...
Yes, I'm saying if they ask me some questions, some legal questions, other than what I got on my notes here, you can back me up.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool.
Sure.
All right.
I mean, one of the things that when we were motivating people into getting their stories out there, I think it's important for, in order to not get hit with slap allegations or suits, just against public participation, it's important that people know the limits to what can be said and what cannot be said without incurring in potential defamation. Because even if it doesn't cause them any damage, they may try to allege defamation in order to shut us up. Am I making any sense?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Because if they can find any incredible part of it, they'll try to shut us down. Because they'll tie one person to the whole group. Like the guy in Ohio that went crazy a couple months ago and shot 3 people, including his neighbors, because he was targeted. I don't believe he was crazy. I believe he was pushed over the edge, and they were part of it. And
all of those mass shootings, I think that's what's going on. So but in order for people not to be labeled crazy, it's important that when, like, I know there's a lot of things that I know are true, but I don't say them because I don't have the evidence. So, like, this has been listened to by them,
right,
all the time. All my phones, everything is compromised. But I decided that fight I will not continue to engage in because it's a waste of time. They will always win the technological fight. I mean, you can have little wins, but they will always catch up. So, I assume that everything from going to the bathroom in the morning to having a conversation to having a thought, everything is interfered with illegally. And I do not consent to the illegal interception or recording of this call in any way. That doesn't mean that I know that I agree to it. And that's really important that everybody should, every time you're talking to somebody, you repeat that,
right.
That in order to legally intercept and record this call, you need a FISA warrant, and I do not agree to it.
They're overstepping the FISA rules on all that stuff too, as well. What was I going to say? I was going to say the evidence that I produced when this started happening to me at first in 2019. I didn't know what was happening, but it was happening so fast where people were trying to murder me that I even knew, like my family was involved, because I was in National Geographic back in 2012 over the animal apocalypse thing, because I'm the only guy on the planet that had the footage. And then I got threatened by a government official at a dinner when we was in the middle of filming it, and he told me to keep my mouth shut about it or I'm going to have problems for the rest of my life. Well, I didn't understand what that was back then. And then I got booted to Ohio in 2014, and then from then on, everything started going real bad. Well, in the meantime, I got police departments on here and people involved admitting it, that they didn't help me or do anything, but they knew it. And I got them on audio recordings, and they tried to erase all this, and they couldn't do it. And I still have it. What my goal is to subpoena the 911 tapes that I made when I overtook a boat on Lake Erie when these guys tried to kill me. And I overpowered them, and I called 911 and played it off like something, like we had drunk people trying to fight us. And they were sweating it. So, and then the police were involved in Ashtabula. I also got that on the Brady's list. This is the same as Huron County, where they came up with these bogus charges to nail me with, because I got shot in the arm and got chased all over Huron County in the woods to this wooded area, and then I had to seek refuge in this abandoned house, which these people told me to go to, and then get out of their town. Well, they messed up the whole thing, and I got it all on court legal papers and everything, how they screwed it all up. How they let me go, how they were supposed to keep me. They had an ankle monitor on me. They allowed me to leave the state and take this thing off and mail it back. No charges were pressed. So that's how we know that I know this program's real. And I've showed this to other people, and they do not, absolutely do not want my story getting out, because that's the evidence of this program and the flaws that they created in this, because I was shifting gears on these people as fast as I could because I knew something was going on. I didn't know what it was. I thought it was a death cult or something, which it is. And then it led on to this. So I have not stopped at all to get this out. But I've been formulating ways with other people I've been speaking to. And it's just the problem of getting it out to other people that could do something about it or give me pointers on what I should do next. Because my wheels are constantly turning with this. This is the only approach that I can think of other than putting them on the Brady's list because they didn't do their jobs. And that's another thing that'll nail them to the cross. Because we report this stuff. They don't do nothing about it, and they laugh at us. That goes to the FBI, anybody in the agency's Department of Justice, and then they get labeled on that Brady's list, and it does not come off. And then you got other federal investigators looking at them that are a part of this, and they want to know, why didn't you take heed to his warning, or why didn't you help them in any shape, form, or fashion? And then that's how they go after it, and that's my duty. I'm going to make this...
If you could, one of that Mr. Whitehouse is so, but I don't want to step into the town because I really don't want to do it without like having people tell me, oh, she's a perp, and that these guys abuse drugs. Okay, but here's the thing, that the word has to get out there that, you guys have to make a real effort to stay away from that, because that's how they arrest you. How they, when the police come to do a wellness check, that's how they just take you for a mental hospital, and it's not giving them the opportunity to take you in, to arrest you, to charge you for charges. It's just not giving them the opportunity. Do you know how important that is? And I know it takes a lot of willpower, but and I believe in prayer. I personally believe in prayer, because it's the only I have not in life but God. So it's just it's such a thin line, and I don't want to offend anybody saying just pray. Go on your knees and really pray from the bottom of your heart, because I do it, and I impose my but I know that people have to away from drugs, from alcohol, or board, because otherwise they'll continue having control over them. I don't what to think of, if you could, since you're managing one of the group. I don't it without being offensive, but it's really important.
Well, our group, I kind of handpicked some people, and I had some help, and I wanted the ones that everybody that's really serious about going after this, that's going to stop it, instead of, I've seen a lot of stuff on Facebook and other places and platforms, people just arguing left and right. You're a perp, he's a perp, she's a perp. We're not supposed to be doing that. We're not supposed to be fighting each other. We need to go after the root cause without anybody criticizing what we're doing. If we're doing something that's a little far-fetched, somebody say something, by God. But if we're doing the right thing, everybody be on board. That's what we want. And then people that's got experience like yourself and others, give us pointers, help us in the right, steer this boat, help us all steer this boat right, so we don't crash it, because we gotta stop this. And I'm not the one just to talk about it. I'm actually taking action. All y'all's taking action. I've seen all these people I've picked are all activists. They all want to get rid of this stuff, and they are all fighters, and they've been through the ringer for years on this stuff, and that's what we want. They want for the voice of the voiceless, because these other people, they want sympathy from it. That's all. Like, I've tried to help people. I can help you stop the EMFs, the microwaves affecting you. There's material out there. It's not expensive. It's common physics on how this stuff works in science to block it out. They don't want to hear that. That ain't gonna work. This ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. Try it. I mean, it's science. They're using science, and there's simple science that can defeat it as well. I mean, they got flaws in this program. Nothing's flawed. They didn't make it perfect. Because if they did, we'd all be dead by now. So,
exactly.
I found some flaws. They flawed up with me big time, and that's why I'm not stopping. And I can't get my flaws out. I've got them to a few people, and I don't know what happened. I think they stole some of it and prevented me from doing it, like love bombing me and stuff. But that's how that goes. Let me give this Julie a call. I want to try to get this popping here. I got 4 on a list, and after that I'll try to formulate some more, especially for like federal prosecutors and stuff like that, the Department of Justice. I'll call all of them. I'll call FEMA, Homeland Security, the fusion centers. I'll put my name all over it. I mean, I'm not scared. I've already seen what they can do, and they're really sloppy about it. But Anybody got anything else before I make this phone call?
Go for it.
All right, here we go. Miss Julie Brown.
Thank you for calling the Miami Herald and El Nuevo Herald. Press 1 for English. Press 2 for Spanish. Thank you for calling the Miami Herald and El Nuevo Herald. Visit our websites at miamiherald.com and elnuevoherald.com. Please listen carefully as our menu has changed. For help with your print or digital subscription, including login issues, newspaper billing, or to report a delivery error 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, press 1.
No.
For advertising, press 2. For obituaries, press 3.
Nope.
For the newsroom, press 4. For the Human Resources People Division, press 5. To repeat this menu, press pound.
Let's go with 4. Sounds good. The newsroom.
Thank you for calling the Miami Herald and El Nuevo Herald newsroom. For news tips and information, press 1. For sports, press 2. For opinion and letters to the editor, press 3. For photo and video, press 4. For content issues in the print edition, press 5. To repeat these options, press pound.
One sounds feasible.
Thank you for calling the Miami Herald and El Nuevo Herald newsroom. Please leave a message with your name and phone number and we will return your call.
I bet. Hi, my name is David Morrow. I am a citizens reporter for the Brady's List. And if you could give me a call back at 330-328-8330, I would appreciate it. And this is in regards to coverage of organized stalking and government programs that are for harassment. And I'd really appreciate it if you could call me back. Thank you and have a good day. Now, I called the headquarters and left that message. I didn't call her, so I'm going to give her a little call. Hopefully she'll answer. Usually they'll just go to voicemail sometimes, but we'll see. I've gotten lucky before.
I left my message on too.
I've gotten lucky. I've called a few places like the FBI headquarters, and they answered, and they were really wanting to help me at first, and then they got really, really rude and hateful about it. I got that one. Let's see, here we go. This is Julie Brown.
The Google subscriber you have called is not available.
Of course not.
Leave a message after the tone.
Hi, Julie. My name is David Morrow. I'm a citizens reporter for the Brady's List here in the United States. I was calling because I got some influx of reports on the Brady's List due to organized stalking, harassment, and police departments not taking the calls that people are in danger. If you could give me a call back about the serious matter, my number is 330-328-8330. I'd appreciate it, and you have a nice day. Okay, let's go with, you guys try the New Yorker. I will give them a shot as well. 202.
The Dallas Morning News hung up on me. My call got disconnected. I did get a hold of that Miles Moffat and left a message on his. I just could only do a message, but I didn't get to the others when you went live, and I kicked onto that because I had just got done with the other two calls. So
I guarantee it, they already got wind. Well, I know pretty much they do because they know what to say. They're controlled as well. But we're just going to fix their controller buttons for them. This is Jane Mayer from the New Yorker.
Jane Mayer, Kate Hamilton, and Bill Hamilton aren't here right now. Leave a message and we'll call you back.
Yes, this is messages for Jane Mayer, investigative journalist for the New Yorker. My name is David Morrow. I'm a citizens reporter for the Brady's List. I'm having an influx of reports of organized stalking and police departments' involvement and not taking their reports seriously. That's my job, to take these reports as well, and it's documented on the sites. And there is a lot of violations of human rights and constitutional rights going on with this as well. I was wondering if you guys have covered this story. I'm trying to cover it myself. I'm just trying to get it out there. If you could give me a call back at 330-328-8330, I appreciate it. And you have a nice day, man. See, that's the way you kind of ruffle, like, hey, I'm getting an influx of reports here. What's going on? You guys ain't covering this? So they're going to be like, ooh, we got to get this, type thing. So let me give him a call. Let me give Mr. Moffat a call here, see what he has to say. 977 8368.
The party you are trying to reach is not available to take your call. Please leave a message after the tone. Press the pound key to end recording.
This message is for Miles Moffat, investigative journalist. My name is David Morrow. I'm a citizens reporter for the Brady's List. The reason I'm calling, I want to see if you guys have covered this story. I'm doing my job. I'll see if you're doing yours. I've got an influx of reports on the Brady's List of police departments involved in organized stalking and targeting United States citizens. And they're not doing their job and taking these reports as they're supposed to. And if you guys could give me a call, I'd like to ask you some questions about this. My number is 330-328-8330. Thank you and have a nice day. Okay. Let's see. We got Arthur Kane. Mr. Arthur. Out of Las Vegas. He works for the Las Vegas Journal Review. I've actually heard of them. A journalist died there and they were all covering his story. Years ago.
There are a lot of correspondence in Vegas. It seems that there's these elite vigilante groups. They seem to be very in the people in Vegas.
I wonder how we could get a hold of them as well.
Well, they have these. Their names. Let me look for them because they have their name. These people in Vegas. I'll tell you what they are. They have. They're called. It's like they're very well known. They're like very well known. I replied, there's also a huge problem with people in jails. Like inmates are very neighborhood watch. You know about that?
Yeah, we have one in my neighborhood. There's a big blue sign sticking up the road there because that's part of the Citizens on Patrol, Citizens Corp type thing. After 9/11 happened here, they created that with the Patriot Act. Remember the commercials? They said if you see something, say something type thing. That's what they're referring to. If you see somebody out there measuring and taking pictures, report them. There's this number you call. I think they still have that. And the Department of Justice funds all this stuff. So they'll give local police departments, the state police, the FBI offices, all the funding they need, and plus all the funding that they have that we don't know about. And then they'll bankroll it, and then they'll use that as a smokescreen, just like the cops, the cops program that they have, which they claim is a good deal, which is not. And that's the Citizens, I can't remember how it went.
Oriented policing.
Yes, Citizens, community-oriented policing. That's it.
Yeah, community. Yep.
And it's got a website and everything, and it makes it look like it's a good deal. But when you start looking at it, it's a remop of Hoover's COINTEL program. They just renamed it because they had to have another reason to do warrantless wiretaps and do everything without your knowledge of it. Just like Edward Snowden busted out and told everybody about that, they just completely disregarded him because he's a criminal, because he's telling us, hey, this is against the Constitution, this is against the UN charters, and violation of human rights. So, yeah, everybody's tried.
It's off, and I don't know how it turned off. And because my screen is really broken, because it's fallen so many times. Because believe it or not, I have implants from the tip of my head to the tip of my toes and the tip of my fingers. So sometimes they just make things fall off my hands. Like how did that happen, And because I'm sure they just press a button and I just lose grip of everything I have, So I have to make a conscious effort to hold things real tight in order for them not to fall. So that doesn't happen all the time with the phone, and that's why. So don't think I just turned off the camera. I did.
That's fine. I'm not one of them suspicious. What are you doing? Where are you going? How did you get there? And what's next? Type of person.
I'm a little paranoid about it because I don't want people to think the wrong thing. So, but now I'm safe with you. And if you perceive something, you just ask me.
That's what I feel.
It's like people should ask. People shouldn't assume, shouldn't assume.
I've had a lot of assumptions, and I just completely write it off. I'm like, if you think that, whatever. You think I'm going to go bend over backwards and go through all this stuff, expose myself? I'm not the one hiding behind pictures with seafoam and stuff. Like, I'm showing myself. I'm giving you everything. You might not see where I work or whatever until you get to know me, because I don't know who you are. I don't want my information completely destroyed. I mean, again, it ain't going to affect anything because I can build back up, but still, it's the inconvenience of everything. But still, I'm not the paranoid type of person, because paranoia didn't get me through all this stuff. It's using my head, my gut instincts, and actually putting things together and then wanting to proceed with the rest of it. Because when this was happening, I actually was getting a joy out of this because I wanted to see what was going to happen next. I've got all these hundreds of cars with dealer tags that look like they come out of a car lot in the middle of the night chasing me through cornfields with their brights on. And it's the same pattern. I'm like, what is this? It's something, because something's going on. And then I got people close to me talking subliminal stuff, coming out of the woodwork with brand new vehicles, with no job, cash money. And then they're setting me up in these little scenarios with these people that I kind of half-ass know. And next thing I know, I'm getting poisoned. I'm looking like 80 pounds of hammered crap. And I don't know why this is happening to me. And they're sitting there telling me, hey, rattling off Shakespeare to me. So I bought Shakespeare book, the story of Hamlet. And they kept referring to Hamlet, the food I was eating. I know what Ophelia did now. She poisoned everybody. And I've got witnesses on this stuff. So the stupid little quirks that these people use and the people that they hire to do this, people think they get the wrong impression about government hitmen. They are not what we think they are. They're not people in a suit. They're not people all dressed up nice and neat. They're scumbags that look like regular people, but they got little ticks to them and weird, they talk in riddles and all kinds of weird stuff. And they're always up to shady business. And they'll put you in the grinder with these people, and then you might not come back. Look, for the grace of God, I come back with a couple of scratches, a bullet wound, and some stolen items that they stole from me, and some people that don't want to talk to me anymore because they think I'm crazy or they were involved, which I pretend like they're dead anyway. So I'm not losing any sleep over it. I got a new family. That might not last long either, and I'm prepared for that. I haven't wept over what happened before, so they can keep trying and stripping and do whatever they get. I'm not going to stop. And everybody's people's told you, hey. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm stopping here. And like the attacks the more success we have or close to success we get, the harsher the attacks will become.
Oh, yeah.
So, we have to be ready for that, because I barely sleep, and I have water things all over me, or just water, protecting myself. But it's people have to know that unless we undergo all that harsh pain that they're going to put us through, this is never going to be over, because we really need the community to unify behind us and this fight.
Yeah, because they're not going to stop. I mean, people think, oh, well, I used to think this, too, to give myself false hope. The targeting is going to stop. It's slowed down. I even had them online telling me, this chief handler and all these handler guys on YouTube, I exposed them so much they had to delete their videos and some of their profiles, but they come back here and there, and they harass all targets. I know you guys know of it. I heard of it. Anonymous even spoke on it, and I'm kind of sketchy about him as well, trying to help us and then doing stuff on the side. But anyway, they were telling me, oh, we're going to give you another chance, Mr. Morrow. Just don't screw this. I'm like, man, it's all lies. I just played it off. And then, like, I know before, the paint pills, and then I'm in a helicopter chase, and people are trying to run me off the freeway for no reason. And I've already seen this movie a couple times, and I've recorded it a couple times. And they just, I don't know, they've really went out of their way to take a lot of us out. And they've tried everything, and I think God, I know God is behind it. Without that, we'd be done. We'd be toast. And a lot of people say, well, if the government wanted you dead, they'd have you dead. I was like, well, this ain't how this program works. They don't work that way. They do it slowly over time. Psychologically, that's the worst way you can tear somebody down and murder them, is psychologically kill them. Because that's going to lead them not to eat, sleep, everything else. And it's going to make them homicidal, suicidal, everything. Violent.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I have to go off because I have to file a motion. But thank you for inviting me, and I hope that the next time what I'm going to do is I'm going to answer from another phone that doesn't have a broken screen.
That's fine. We're just gonna.
Okay.
I'm just gonna keep attempting this stuff and keep going with it. That's an attempt.
Perfect. I'm going to be rewriting like the story, and I'm going to be sending it to like 200 people that I have in a journalist list, because that were involved in the environmental, interested in environmental stuff, because that's where I began to be targeted. So I'm going to start doing that, because I have realized that at least in Puerto Rico, most of the attorneys that did meaningful environmental work, they did one case and then they disappeared, and I didn't know why. And now I'm connecting the dots that they said, that their lives started, they became targeted, and they said, no, I'm not going to go for this. They completely disappear off the face of the earth, and so I didn't realize it. I continued, and that's why. And my client in my latest case, she was kidnapped. She was kidnapped in 2019, and because we sued the utility, the water utility, and she was kidnapped for 7 hours. She moved to Princeton. She was so scared, but she did give up in the case. So that's what's happening there. That the environment, since EPA discriminates against Puerto Ricans because we're citizens, but we're not a state.
Right. No, I was agreeing. Yes, Puerto Rico is not a state.
It's not a state, so that's why EPA lets environmental criminals do anything there, and they're in bed with the polluters and in bed with the violators and environmental violators of the laws. And so I think that not realizing that I was targeted made it worse, because they accumulated, further enemies. But anyway, so I have to file something. But thank you so much, and please keep me in this loop. Okay?
I have y'all's permission to put this on my channel, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
sure.
Okay.
Yep.
Because we know what we're doing. We're recording. It's all for the good of it, so that we're showing other targeted individuals, hey, we're actually taking action. We got credible sources here. We got people we're calling. We're trying to do something about it. And I'm gonna keep continuing to do this on, and then we'll advance from there, and then I'll move on to government agencies, and I'll take the bullet for that one, because I've did it a few times. They know who I am. They know, because I call them at least 3 times a year and want to update, and they despise me. I could feel it in their souls if they have any. But yeah, I appreciate it, Anna.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, I got one more phone call. One more. And let's see if we can do this here. This is the Arthur Kane. He is the journalist for the Las Vegas Review-Journal. I dare not call their headquarters because it'd probably be a whole bunch of mess. So we're just going to give him a direct phone call, leave a message type thing, because how convenient is it if you got a cracking story, nobody's going to answer the phone for you.
I know.
That's so convenient. If it was something that Joe Biden fell off a bicycle, they'd be all over that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Extension 0286 does not answer. To transfer to the operator, press 0. Or, at the tone, begin recording. One moment.
Let's go to the operator.
Thank you for calling the Las Vegas Review-Journal and Las Vegas Sun. Please note your call may be monitored or recorded for quality assurance. For circulation, press 1. For classified advertising, press 2. For editorial, press 3. For circulation billing, press 4. For directions to our facility, press 5. For human resources, press 6. Please press 9 to dial by name.
Enter the first few letters of the person's last name. For the letter Q, use the 7 key. For the letter...
There we go. I just spelled his whole name. Really easy.
To re-enter the name, press the pound key. To leave the directory,
press the star key. Enter the first few letters of the person's last name. For the letter Q, use the 7 key. 4. Business office. Press 1 for
Ron Kansowski.
Press 4 for Julia.
That has nothing to do with none of it.
Press 8. For more listings, press 9. To re-enter 4.
Christopher Lawrence.
Press 2. To re-enter the name, press the pound key. To leave the directory, press the star key.
Just push 0.
1 moment, please.
That always works.
Thank you for calling the Las Vegas Review-Journal and Las Vegas Sun. Please note your call may be monitored or recorded for quality assurance. For circulation, press 1. For classified advertising, press 2. For editorial, press 3. For circulation billing, press 4. For directions to our facility,
Let's press editorial because they have to do stuff to the stories, Dr. Mick.
You have reached the Las Vegas Review-Journal newsroom. If you want to leave a message for anyone in the newsroom, please leave your name and telephone number first, then your message and what it is regarding. Please keep in mind if you are leaving a message after 5 o'clock on the weekend or a holiday, your call may not be returned until the next business day. If you would like to email the newsroom, you can at info@reviewjournal.com.
Your emails never get answered, people, just so you know.
If you want to cancel, please call customer service at 702-383-0400. If you want to place an ad, please call advertising at 702-383-0383. And if you need to contact the Las Vegas Sun, their phone number is 702-385-3111. Thank you.
Well, this is David Morrow. I am a citizens reporter for the Brady's List. The reason I'm calling, I'd like to speak with an investigative journalist of some sort, preferably Arthur Kane. I'm having an influx of reports on our site and to us as well of police corruption, organized stalking done in community groups, and the police and everybody that's being reported to, they are not doing their jobs and taking these reports seriously. And that's where I come in at. If you could give me a call back at 330-328-8330, it'd be much appreciated. Thank you. Having a good day. Well, crap. Hi! At least we try it, and everybody else keeps trying. We can definitely... Huh?
Yep. At least you tried. That's all we can keep doing.
We can keep going. Let's see. Maybe. Let's see. When I had somebody from the Dallas Morning Sun, the Dallas Morning News, try to get a hold of me a couple months ago and was wanting me to write my story out, type it all out. I gave them like the first chapter on Kira. I don't know why they didn't want it directly, but they wanted me to post it on WordPress and stuff like that, which didn't make sense to me, because if you were an investigative journalist, you would want it directly from the source, not put on another site. So I don't understand it. So it was definitely a reporter from them. I can't remember their name. I think it was Laura something or another. But I just don't know what to do other than that. So, everybody, you see the results of this. This is what happens. And you pretty much get nowhere. That's why you got to keep blowing them up. Blowing them up. Blowing them up. Tell them, saying, hey, I'm making reports. Police departments ain't doing their job. These people are doing this to everybody. It's an ongoing process. All of our rights are being violated. I got them all wrote down here to reference them. So, that's how that goes. Until next time, everybody, this is Hard Target, David Morrow, along with our group here, Targeted Citizens Worldwide, and we're going to be on a roll for a while. So let me stop this here.